Welcome to Repum Group's Item 24, where we take you a step beyond the standard FDD. We asked ourselves, why stop at 23 items when some of the most important insights live beyond the page? Here we're breaking down the inner workings of franchising and sharing real-life strategies and stories that drive the industry forward. What makes a good franchisee for a franchisor? Well, the number one thing is you want someone that is willing to follow a playbook. I always say they need to be able to stay in the guardrails of the system. When someone buys a franchise, they shouldn't want to be a hero. They should want to be a winner. And a winner is making money, not losing money. And the way you get there and the path to get there is to follow the playbook that the franchisor created for you. Think about if you were a quarterback, right, of an NFL team, and your coach says, run this play, and you decide to not run it at all and run something different. What's the likelihood of your success by running your own play versus your coach's? Well, in some cases, if you're Tom Brady, maybe you know the play better than the coach. But in normal circumstances, you're not, right? He's a hero. Don't be the hero unless you are Tom Brady, is the joke I would say. But ultimately, the goal is follow the system, stay within the guardrails of the system. The other thing is you've got to make good decisions in a quick manner. If you are someone that gets stuck in the mud and doesn't make decisions and waits on it, you can't do that as an entrepreneur. You've got to make quick decisions for your business. Otherwise, your business will start to falter. And so that's a big part of it. And the last thing I'd say is to understand that not everything's going to work perfect, right? A lot of people who buy franchises come from a big corporation, right? And background of good systems that have been in place for years, over maybe even decades, right? Before they got there. And they've got a lot of money behind them. But as an entrepreneur and a new business, you've got to have grit and you've got to have the ability to pivot when needed. And so understand things aren't always going to go as you plan, but you keep moving forward and eventually you get to a good resolution. And again, the franchisor has the playbook. They've been through it before. So just trust the system, trust the franchisor, and trust that you'll get to your goals. So after you've been in business for a year as a franchisee, that's really where things can start to grow for you. Ultimately, your first year in business, all you're trying to do is get to a break-even point or get to a profitable state, right? New businesses take time to build. We all know that. And so the quicker you get there and the better you follow the system, and as I said, follow the guardrails of the system or stay in the guardrails of the system, the quicker you hopefully will get to that point. But once you get there, now you can start looking at, do you become a little bit of a visionary? And what I mean by that is the system and every franchise system gets stronger by innovation of franchisees over time. You don't want to do that in your first year because you don't know the business model. You're just trying to learn and, again, as I said, get to a profitable state. But once you've done that and you're on stable ground, now you can look at, how do I grow the system? How do I grow my own business? And how do we advance this brand? And how do we advance the industry we're in? The example that I also use is when you think about one of the biggest franchisors out there, McDonald's. The Big Mac was actually invented by a franchisee messing around in the kitchen with different formulas. And all of a sudden, the Big Mac was created. And we all know that's one of the biggest inventions in franchising, I would say, in our country, right? Everyone knows the Big Mac. So think about that as a franchisee and do those things. And hopefully that'll help you be more successful.